So the other week I saw a Raikesy video where he bought 100 Zul-andra teleports and he wanted to see how much loot he can get from that. So I decided to do something similar and I bought 100 Barrows teleports for about 3k each. And this is basically just a different way of saying loot from 100 Barrows runs, but that's kind of what it is. Now prior to making this video, I had done about 110 chests of Barrows. This was about a year ago, and I vividly remember that I only got one item from 110 chests, which for those of you who don't know is actually really unlucky, because if you kill all brothers, then there is a 1 in 17.4 chance of getting a Barrows item. So to see only one item on 110 chests, that's obviously really bad. And for the icing on the cake, it was a Aram's hood, which is like 50-60k, so that's a big reason why I never did much Barrows, because I just never was lucky there. So I decided to buy 100 teleports just to see if my luck has improved, and I can safely say that it didn't at all, but we're gonna get into that in just a minute. Now to do Barrows efficiently, you need a mage switch and you need a range switch. Now right off the bat, I have to say that I completely messed up my gear because I used graceful and I didn't really have to, because I have the highest level pool in my house, which I think it's called ornate rejuvenation pool, and it restores everything including your health. So the passive effect of graceful that gives you energy back faster was completely useless for me, because you don't actually run that much. I mean, you do a bit of running doing Barrows, obviously, running from one hill to another and breaking into crypts, and then also the maze, but I have level 87 agility and I didn't run out of energy once. So yeah, but I was like 20 chests in before I realized that graceful was not going to work, so I didn't want to switch a setup in the middle of the video, but this just goes to show how inexperienced I am with Barrows. For the mage gear, I used a Trident of the Swamp, a Mage Arena 2 cape, occult necklace, and a tormented bracelet. And for the range switch, I had a blowpipe with addy darts, Ava's assembler, necklace of anguish, and a imbued archer's ring. And by the way, for the mage setup, I used an imbued seer's ring. I forgot to mention that. But basically, you want to mage every brother except for Aram, so you have to use range for Aram, but you also want to use range to kill some monsters in the maze. Now, the efficient thing is to apparently kill 2 skeletons and a bloodworm, because that gives you the perfect percentage for the reward potential, because it's not actually efficient to get 100% reward potential, because it gives you more bolt racks, and bolt racks are dirt cheap, so don't even bother with killing any other monsters other than 2 skeletons and a bloodworm. Now, I did say that I only got one item in 100 chests, and it was on chest number 17. Which is on the drop rate, but it was the Varrock Brassard, which is like 190k, so it's not the best item, but it's also not the worst. It at least wasn't another Aram's hood, but that was actually the only item that I got in 100 chests, which is really unfortunate. I did get 5 elite clues, and I completed every one of them, and we'll be opening up the caskets at the end of the video. But first of all, I want to tell you guys how many supplies I went through. So I used up 36 prayer pots, which is way too much for level 74 prayer, but again, this just goes to show how bad I am at Barrows. And this is about 380k. Also went through 3.6k Trident charges, which is 1.6 mil. I spent about 550k for the addy darts and the Zul-andra skills for the blowpipe, and around 300k for Barrows teleports. So in total, I spent 2.8 mil on supplies. But now if I put all of the runes, the bolt racks, and the Varrock Brassard into the price checker, you can see that the total amount of money that I made from 100 Barrows chests was 6.5 mil. So about 3.7 mil profit, but obviously the elite caskets are going to make me even more money. Another thing that I forgot to mention is it took me about 6.5 hours to do 100 chests, and it took me roughly around 4 minutes on average to do one chest, which isn't too great, but it's also not as terrible as I thought it was going to be, because as I said, I'm a big noob at Barrows. Now let's go ahead and open up the elite caskets. So as I said earlier, I got 5 elite clues in 100 chests, and I opened up all of the caskets and got just about 570k GP in clues, which is really terrible. That actually means that none of the clue caskets actually reached 200k GP, which yeah, that's super unfortunate, but I also forgot to mention that I did get 90k GP from 100 chests, because you do get coins as you open the chests. So this in total, with the clues, with the runes, with the Virax Brassard and everything, means that I made 4.4 million GP profit in about 6.5 to 7 hours. So yeah, that's like what, like 600-700k per hour? Not very good at all. I'm kind of disappointed, but you know what? I'd rather go dry at Barrows than at something like Armadillo or Sarah, so it is what it is. I hope you guys still enjoyed the video. If you did, you already know what to do. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day.